What is up, Earthnoids, Spacenoids, and everything in between? I am just a simple new type, and we are going 3 times normal speed through the 1-year war. So I wanted to go over Turn A Gundam and the correct century, but I feel like I could cover this entire series in one long video, so keep your eyes out for that one. Today we are covering important vessels throughout the 1-year war, specifically in Mobile Suit Gundam, as well as their respective pilots and captains. Since we covered Amuro finding and piloting the RX-78's mobile suit, I feel it is important to cover all the players on the chessboard during the 1-year war. This is composed of various battleships and mobile suits for both Zeon and Earth forces. So let's dive into the pieces that played a role during the 1-year war. Up until the Battle of Loom and Operation British, battleships were the primary weapon of war. It wasn't until the creation of the mass-produced Zaku that the mobile suit arm race began. The first Earth battleship is, of course, the Magellan-class ship. The Magellan-class is a large, heavily armed ship and is primarily intended to act as a fleet flagship. It is equipped with 7 gun turrets, which were originally solid metal shell cannons, but later replaced with megaparticle cannons during the first modernization operation. It also has vertical launching systems, or VLS, for launching missiles and other weapons. The Magellan class is a powerful ship, but it is also slow and vulnerable to mobile suits. This was demonstrated in the 1-year war, when several Magellan-class ships were destroyed by Zeon mobile suits. Despite its flaws, the Magellan-class remains an important ship in Earth Federation's fleet. It is a symbol of the Federation's military power, and its presence can be a powerful deterrent to Zeon forces. Here are some notable Magellan-class ships. The Ananke was General Revel's Magellan-class ship that was eventually sunk by the Black Tri-Stars and captured the commander. The Nereid was second-in-command General Cunningham's ship. The Nereid went down in flames, helping Earth forces flee during the Battle of Loom. The Titan was the Tiamen fleet's flagship. It was eventually destroyed by Big Zam during the Battle of Jaburo. And General Revel's second Magellan-class ship, the Phoebe, was destroyed by the Solar Ray during the Battle of Albaku. In a later series, we will see upgraded versions of the ship, such as the Magellan Kai. The Salamis-class ship is a medium-sized cruiser and is primarily intended to act as fleet support ships. It is equipped with 6 megaparticle cannons, which can be used for both anti-ship and anti-mobile suit combat. It also has a number of missile launchers and machine guns for defense. However, the Salamis class is also relatively light armed and is vulnerable to mobile suits. This was demonstrated in the 1-year war when several Salamis class ships were destroyed by Zeon mobile suits. The Columbus class is a large unarmed ship and is primarily intended to act as support ships for other vessels. It is equipped with huge cargo bays on both sides, which can carry a large amount of supplies. When resupplying, the sides of the hull are deployed and supplies are brought in by connecting the ships to the resupply vessel via tubes. And finally, the Pegasus class ship. This is a new landing assault battleship that was created during Operation V. We discussed this in detail in our Operation video, but this ship was the first Minovsky-powered battleship. Of the Pegasus class ships, the most notable is the SCV-70 White Base. The ship's commanders are Paolo Cassius and later Noah Bright. At 19 years old, a young Noah Bright is flung into a commanding position as Captain Cassius is killed in action during the assault on Side 7. And let's not forget about Gunperry. It's just a transport vehicle, but an important one, as this was the vehicle that would rendezvous with RX-78 to quickly resupply or attach new parts to its core block system. On the Zeon side, their flagship is the Guazin-class ship, which is a series of large warships used by the Principality of Zeon. The bridge is located at the front of the ship, providing a commanding view of the battlefield. The primary armament of the Guazin class is its main cannon, a powerful mega particle cannon mounted at the bow, capable of devastating enemy targets. The Musai class ship is a light cruiser and was the first battleship to transport mobile suits. This twin thermonuclear engine ship that can carry 4 mobile suits and has the ability to dock directly with Papua class ships. Musai class ships are equipped with twin megaparticle cannons, which takes a few minutes to fire. Other firepower includes large and small missile launchers. Usually a Musai class ship would come in and launch its mobile suits for short-ranged assaults. Then it would come in with big guns. Similar to Earth Federation, this battleship also lacked anti-aircraft and anti-mobile defense suit systems, which wasn't a problem for Zeon until Operation V. Notable Musai-class ships are Char's Valmail and Dozel Zabi's Valkyrie. Also in Zeon's arsenal is Papua-class ships. This mainly served as support vessels. They would be used to carry Zaku units and were useful as mobile suit carriers when needed. These ships were quite old by the time the 1-year war came around and were eventually replaced with the newer Pazak-class ships. Pazak-class ships were seen during the 1-year war as well as during the Dalaz conflict in UC-0083. The Federation didn't join the mobile suit game until late in UC-0079, but when they ramped up productions, they came with great artillery. It all started with Operation V. Check out our last video for a full summary of Operation V, but to sum up, Operation V consisted of the production of the RX-75 gun tank, the RX-77 gun cannon, and the RX-78 Gundam. These 3 units changed the tides of war for Earth Federation. What we haven't covered too much is their pilots, however. Amado Ray was the pivotal pilot of RX-78 Gundam. During an assault on Side 7, he takes control of the Gundam and defends his home. He continues to pilot the unit for Earth Federation throughout the 1-year war. The gun tank was more tank than mobile suit, but that doesn't mean that it can't operate in space. Some of its pilots include Amado Ray, Hayato Kobayashi, Kai Shiden, and Ryu Jose. These 4 were the main pilots of the gun cannon, at least on White Base as well. All of these pilots became great warriors during the 1-year war, but of course no one matched up to Amado Ray's new type abilities. Other later Earth Federation mobile suits include the RGM-79GM. The GM is a mass-produced mobile suit based off of the RX-78 Gundam. Unlike the RX-78, the GMs typically are not designed around the core block system, and rather are equipped with regular cockpits. Also unlike the Gundam, the GM is made with a titanium alloy due to its ease of refining and producing. The GM surprisingly has a faster acceleration than both the Gundam and the Zaku 2. Although the Boa XBR M79 beam rifle can be used like the RX-79, most did not use this as its primary weapon. Rather, most GM units use the BRM-79C1 beam spray rifle. This was a shorter distance, lower focusing rate Mega Particle Cannon. I am unsure if this weapon has any Minovsky particles, so let me know in the comments. With the war raging on in various environments, an assortment of variants were created, including the RGM-79L GM light armor created for ace pilots, the RGM-79SC GM sniper custom, the RGM-79D GM cold districts type for cold terrain, and the RGM-79F GM land combat type. There were also other various modular units of the core fighter, including the G-Sky, the G-Bull, Core Booster, and much, much more, but we will save these smaller units for another video. Unlike Earth Federation, Zeon forces began ramping up production of mobile suit production very early. Char was still a cadet at the Zeon Space Defense Military Academy when this happened. The first successful mobile suit to be created was the MS-05A Zaku 1. However, it wasn't until the MS-05B Zaku 1 that Zeon began mass production on mobile suits. This unit was made of a high-tension steel alloy. Some notable pilots include the Black Tri-Stars, Gundam, and Ramba Rao. This was more or less an iteration on the MS-05A with minor mobility improvements. However, this unit still struggled somewhat, and fixing these issues weren't addressed until the creation of the MS-06 Zaku 2. The Zaku 2 was simply another iteration of the mobile suit as opposed to a completely new unit. The priorities of the Zaku 2 seemed to be speed and mobility. The Zaku 2 ditched anti-nuclear armaments as well as ditched the use of the 120mm machine gun for the 105mm machine gun. I assume this is to accommodate for more speed. Like the Earth Federation GM, the Zaku 2 had an abundance of variants. Some include the MS-06S Zaku 2 Commander type, the MS-06R Zaku 2 High Mobility type, the MS-06J Zaku 2 Ground type, and the MS-06K Zaku Cannon. Some notable pilots include Char's Commander type Red Comet, the Black Tri-Stars, Kukuru's Dawn, and of course, Jean. The Zaku 2 line of mobile suits were developed by Zeonic, a private company in the Principality of Zeon. They later went on to create the Akai and the Gelgoog. Other notable Zeon mobile suits include the MS-07B Galf. This was a close quarters combat mobile suit designed for Earth warfare. It has a 75mm machine gun, but its most notable weapon is the heat rod. This is a high voltage cable that delivers a shock when it comes into contact with enemy mobile suits. It can also get hot enough to cut through objects. Ramba Rao was the best known pilot for the Galf. He is a great tactician and strategist who came to Earth after the death of one of the zombies. The MS Dom was another ground unit produced for Zeon. What made the Dom so unique was the thermal nuclear jets installed under its feet. This allowed for it to glide and traverse in a diversity of terrains. Its main weapon is the 360mm giant bazooka. It also has heavily fortified armor. Its most notable pilots were the Black Tri-Stars. Finally, the MS-14A Gelgoog. This unit was developed to rival the RX-78 Gundam. After the creation of the Gundam and the GM, Zeon started to lose their technological advantage. The Gelgoog was Zeon's solution, as the Gelgoog was technologically superior to the Gundam. Most of Zeon's units up until now used artillery, as they were able to mass produce fast and beat Earth to the mobile suit game. but it was clear that they needed their units to adapt to beam rifle technology. Due to the production of beam rifle technologies, the superior Gelgoog wasn't produced in the high numbers that we see with the GM. If this unit was able to meet their production timeline, perhaps the war might have ended differently. Notable pilots include Anna Velgato, an ace pilot under Dalzil Zabi, who later goes on to be the main antagonist of Stardust Memory. And that was enough Mobile Suit talk for one day. Although there are hundreds of units to draw from during the 1 year war, these are the main units that will be the main focus of Mobile Suit Gundam. As we move along in the 1 year war, perhaps we will make another video of all the millions of variations, like the Rickdom, the RX-79, the Zulu F, GOG, Big Zam, Zaku 3, Zaku 2 Kai, and much, much more. But that will do it for now. In our next few videos, we will be following Whitebase and Amado as they make their escape from Side 7 and their journey to Luna 2. Until then, don't go dropping any colonies, new types. Catch you later.